Hey you guys, today we're going to be breaking down Ultimate Form. This form change is triggered by having the Ultimate Weapon equipped. Ultimate Form is signified by Sora's clothes turning into a black and white pattern. Black stripes can be seen along his pants, and crowns adorn the sleeves on his jacket. Sora's toy form is not too different from his base form with the black and white pattern, although he does not have the stripes or crowns in his toy form. Sora's monster form shows the same jacket as base form, but Sora's hair changes to a white color. Sora's pirate form is probably the most different. His cufflinks have crowns on them, as does his hat, which sports 3 crowns now instead of just the one with his normal pirate form. His bandana changes from blue to white with a black swirling pattern. The backside of his coat also has a swirling pattern similar to his pants in his base form. Unique abilities associated with this form include Teleport, which is an ability that lets you instantly close in on an enemy you are targeted on, as well as MP Hystera, which recharges your MP 20% faster. Other abilities include Combo Master, Leaf Bracer, Second Chance, and Withstand Combo, as well as the normal hidden potential ability associated with most form changes. Ultimate Form also has 3 combo finishers and a special guard encounter, which we will cover in a little bit. This form change also has the Hover ability, similar to Mirage Staff. Anyways, let's move on to the actual form change now. The transformation starts with Sora spinning and summoning a magic circle below himself. If the camera does not go into a cinematic view, you can see that part of the circle disappears right before Sora summons his swords. Parts of this magic circle show off the swords that Sora summons actually. There are also symbols here which I believe some people are working on translating, as well as some designs here that resemble this part of the Keyblade. I'm not sure if they are supposed to resemble wings or some kind of celestial nod, but that's the feeling it gives me. Anyways, let's move on. As this spell circle spawns below Sora, he raises his Keyblade into the air as 4 beams of light spiral around him and meet at the hilt of the Keyblade. A heart appears out of the light and is actually the logo for the Kingdom Hearts games. The sides of the hilt grow larger surrounding the Keyblade, and the rest of the Keyblade follows as these shards on the hilt push out farther. The blade of the Keyblade grows bigger, as do the shards on either side of it. The entire Keyblade glows as a flash appears in the center. The Keyblade spins and collapses into itself as red points appear and rings of light push out from the center. The blade separates into 3 blades that look like the 3 in the Kingdom Hearts 3 logo. By this point, tons of swords are flying up around Sora, as his 2 outer blades spin around the center one. The heart in the Keyblade also spins during this. The 3 blades change to a range of different colors and come back together before Sora does a slash in front of himself. The magic circle disappears as Sora does another spin. The swords that appear during the transformation are randomized, and every time Sora attacks, they are different. So far, I have counted 8 different swords. I'll show them on screen here. If you find any more, be sure to let me know. If you look at the abilities of Ultimate Form, we can see that these swords are called Blades of Light. Master Ericus was also able to summon Blades of Light, I believe, in Birth by Sleep. One last thing to note about the transformation, a user by the name of Saxton pointed out that Sora actually keeps the handle of the Ultimate Weapon Keyblade during this form change. The logo for Ultimate Form shows the words Ultimate Form with the blade of the Keyblade being shown in the logo, with 4 of the Blades of Light being shown behind that. Also, these shards here are probably this part here on the Keyblade, and the arc here is this part here. The logo pulses with a reddish glow, and a glimmer of light passes through the logo as well. During the finisher, the Swords of Light glow blue and spin around the logo before standing upright around the logo. Practically the entire Keyblade is shown off during the finisher as well. The front mirrors the blade of the Keyblade, but you can also see the sides of the handle here as well as the bottom of the handle. The combat for Ultimate Form is insane. The combo starts with Sora twisting up into the air and positioning the blade behind his head before slashing downwards, before following that up with a horizontal slash. Sora turns in the air out of that slash and dives forward, bathing his sword in white light as Blades of Light appear and meet in the center at the tip of Sora's blade. The Blades of Light also spin around Sora during this thrust attack. At the end of the thrust, we can see the white glow around the blade fade, and a red streak can be seen. Also, a wind effect can be seen at the end of the attack. The blades disappear, as Sora twists into the air again and positions himself sideways in the air, holding his blade pointed towards the ground. Sora spins twice, doing 2 vertical slashes in the air, which, if you are close enough, will leave slashes in the ground. After the second slash, Sora flips right side up and does another slash downwards, which shoots up multiple pillars of light in front of Sora. 2 blades fly past Sora, creating an X on the ground if you are close enough to it. If you move the camera, you can see magic circles appear behind Sora, which is where the blades of light come from. This magic circle is different than the one used during the transformation. Sora's crown can be seen in this magic circle, as well as this blade of light, I believe. There's also this symbol on the outside of the circle that I believe I have seen somewhere before, but I haven't been able to find anything in my digging. There are also symbols on this magic circle, much like the circle seen during the transformation. Anyways, let's move on to the next attack. At the very start of the attack, Sora's left hand has a white orb surrounded as he flips backwards and brings his hands behind his head. A light effect also appears in front of his hand, which starts out blue, then changes to red, and finally to gold. There's also this textureless model that kind of looks like the Ultima blade that Sora uses in this form change. I believe this is a bug, as this happens every time I have seen this attack. I think the textureless model is supposed to be a second Ultima blade, but it is bugged out and they have not pushed out a patch to fix it. Anyway, Sora flips backwards and spins the blade in his hand before throwing both blades forward, spawning a red orb and a blue orb where the blades used to be. A blue blade of light as well as a red blade of light appear and spin around, making a kind of double saw blade. There's an attack that looks just like this in Kingdom Hearts 2. This attack is used while in final form. The next three attacks are combo finishers. The first combo finisher has Sora flipping up into the air while spawning a magic circle above himself. This seems to be the magic circle from the transformation. Tons of blades are spawned as Sora spins around with the blades. The blades cut into the ground as they spin towards it. The next combo finisher has Sora twisting and slashing up into the air with his blade, which summons the magic circles with his emblems. The circles summon blades of light to come out of the ground, which spin before sinking blade first into the ground. Sora then thrusts forward, which causes the blades to push out horizontally, creating slashes in the ground as they move. It's hard to see it, but Sora's blade spins around his hand during this thrust. A green air effect and an orb of light in Sora's hand can also be seen during this finisher. Someone by the name of Azir Mistori pointed out that this attack is extremely similar to Roxas's light pillar thrust in Kingdom Hearts 2. The last combo finisher has Sora again twisting up into the air and diving towards the ground with a blue spike effect following him. Blades of light appear around Sora in a circle, and a magic circle appears around the blades. Sora slashes outwards in a circle as the blades of light twist outwards and light spirals upwards. This leaves a spinning crack effect, which is similar to the Drill Punch cracks. There are 6 blades of light that appear, and these seem to change color similar to how the Ultima blade changes color. I'll talk about that a little bit later though. And that's about it for the combat. Let's move to magic. Magic for the ultimate form is actually not changed compared to Sora's base form. I'm a little surprised, to be honest, that they didn't change the magic for ultimate form. Though other Keyblades with only one form change also do not have a change in magic compared to base form. I guess I just was really expecting there to be something different with ultimate form since it's, ultimate form. Anyways, let's move on to Sora's movement. Sora's dodges are changed while in ultimate form. Sora disappears, leaving behind 2 light effects. Another light effect appears and hits the ground, summoning 3 magic circles that separate and circle Sora as he reappears. This mirrors the magic circle summoned during the transformation into ultimate form. It is just deconstructed and separated for the dodge, though it is possible that the magic circle during the transformation is also multiple circles stacked together. If you watch the light effects, it seems like Sora jumps during the dodge. The first light goes upwards and the second light comes downwards, which is why I think Sora is jumping, or at least moving in an arc during this dodge. Sora also floats above the ground while in ultimate form, and sparkles are left behind while moving. On another note, orbs trail behind the sword while moving as well. If you are not moving, the sparkles and orbs will float upwards. Let's move on to the guarding and countering for this form change. Blocking brings up blades of light around Sora, alternating between upright and upside down blades. When blocking, the blades spin into place before disappearing if nothing hits them. If an enemy attacks though while Sora is blocking, you can do a counter that pushes out the blades, damaging enemies that are close enough. This counter also separates the upright blades from the upside down ones. The upside down ones move around Sora faster than the upright blades during this counter. Let's move on to the idle animation. There's not really an idle animation for ultimate form, as Sora just floats if you do not move in a direction. There is a cool detail that is easiest to see though while Sora is idle, which is the fact that the sword's color is constantly changing. The colors move slowly up the sword. Let's talk about the shot lock. This shot lock is different than others in the fact that you only have to lock onto one target to trigger the attack. A red reticle appears with 3 shards on the outside of it. As you lock onto an enemy, the shards move towards the reticle. Once they fit into the reticle, the entire thing glows and stars and orbs appear around it. Also, there are other shards that appear while the main shards are fitting into the reticle. Anyways, once the reticle glows, you can trigger the shot lock. After the shot lock is triggered, Sora jumps into the air, flipping and twisting as a magic circle appears above him. This is the same magic circle that is summoned during the transformation. It seems like there is a circle above Sora, one surrounding him, and one below him as well. Chains appear around him, which may be our first look at Sora's chains. We have seen Terra as well as Ericus and Aqua use chains, and they all are slightly different, I believe. I may be wrong, but I am almost sure we have seen these chains somewhere before, but I can't for the life of me find them. If you have seen these before, please let me know. Another thing that appears are these magic circles with crystals inside of them. It actually looks incredibly similar to the crystals summoned while wrist charging in Rage form. Those crystals are symbolic of the hearts inside Sora, so what do the crystals in the Ultima Shotlock symbolize? Maybe they are connected with the Blades of Light? Anyways, I'll hold the theorizing for another video. Let's continue with the breakdown. An orb of light appears in the center and shoots out rays of light as Sora spins around. The orb grows bigger and Sora flips backwards before the screen flashes white. If you look here, you can see a purple effect. Light moves upwards from the ground, and the ground has an effect that reminds me of light and darkness, kind of. The last thing I want to point out about this was something found by user Sarthek Verma, who noticed that Mickey summons a similar magic circle while attacking Xehanort at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3. I do not know if this is the same magic as the shotlock Sora uses is called Infinity Circle. Mickey uses Ultima, which could be the same, although a green sphere appears around Mickey, which makes me think these are two different magic attacks with the same magic circle. I've already shown you guys that the transformation into Ultimate form, the dodge, as well as the shotlock use the same magic circle, so maybe Ultima is in the same vein of magic as this form change. Anyways, let's move on to the finisher. The finisher starts with Sora summoning 7 orbs of light that all move in a circle towards the center. 7 crystals with 7 magic circles appear around Sora. When the orbs meet in the center, a magic circle with Sora's emblem in the center and on the edges appears. This is the same magic circle seen during the combo. When the camera changes, we can see blades appearing above Sora coming through the magic circle, as well as blades below Sora. As the blades below Sora move upwards, a magic circle appears. We can see Sora slashing around as these blades fly towards him. I believe this is what makes the blades start shooting outwards everywhere. During these slashes and flying blades, sets of 2 spinning rays of light appear, with an orb of light in the middle and a magic circle appearing around it. 7 of these appear around Sora, and when they all finish appearing, Sora raises his blade into the air, causing a flash of light to appear from the raised blade. The 7 orbs summon giant blades and spin out around Sora, leaving behind trails of light. When they disappear, some kind of light or air spirals up around the blades at the bottom. You can't see it here, but if you trigger this finisher in other areas, you can see cuts in the ground made by the blades flying out. If the cinematic camera is not triggered, you can get a better look at the blades that are summoned. A magic circle is above the blades, and a cross made of light can be seen. Wings adorn these blades, and a cross makes up the bottom of the hilt. I'm not sure what the wings symbolize, but the hilt looks really similar to Xion's final form blades. Shout out to my mod Tony for putting this together. One last thing to note about this finisher, this scene here really reminds me of the crystal scene in the chess room here. It's strange that we never did get any information on what this was supposed to be, unless I missed something. And that is all I have for this breakdown. This is such a cool form change, and there was so much information packed into it. I'm sure I've missed a ton, so if you notice something, let me know in the comments below. I definitely think there are ties to Scala ad Kylam with this form, as the magic circles and blades just seem to really fit in with the theme of that world. Anyways, that is all the time I have for today. I'm pretty active on Twitch, YouTube, Discord, and Twitter, so be sure to follow the links in the description below to stay updated. Click the card on screen to watch some other breakdowns I've done. I put a ton of work into this video, so if you could subscribe or share this with someone you think will like it, that would help me out so much. I'll see you in the next video.